himself, and then when we bathe him and etc. And I'm like, that don't make sense. And then I'm like, what do you mean? The girlfriend takes the phone and she starts to talk and she's like, oh, I was the one who was bathing him no most of the time. And oh, he was sharding and it happened because he was pooping and I put cream on it. And one bugger story that don't make sense, that made no sense. So I end
Mm-hmm.
the conversation. At the time I sent his dad I'm like, look at your phone. Look at what I'm looking at. His father, because you know on WhatsApp, it shows you when somebody read the message. You see the blue tick.
Yes.
When I
Yes.
sent his father the images and I said, look at your phone, his father said, oh, I see it. But his father never looked at the images because the blue tick never checked.
Yes.
Therefore, at that moment, you knew. The night when he dropped off my son, he made sure to remind my son in front of me. Because when I took my son, he said to my son, tell your mother what I told you,
Mm-hmm.
smartly reminding the child of the manipulation that he put inside of him prior to. He said, tell your mother what I told you. Caleb is half asleep. They drive all the way from New Jersey. So I said, tell me what you tell him, because he's obviously sleeping. His dad said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm taking him to amusement park or whatever when you guys come back. So I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything. But when you start to look at the whole picture now and you say, okay, you made sure and tell him that my son come home. He's like, mommy, daddy's going to get me two phone. He's going to get me two phone. And I'm like, two phone, Caleb have tablet, Caleb have this. Why is this a thing? No. So when we went to the hospital and all the pieces are coming together, I'm like, wow,
Mm.
wow,
Yes. Yes.
wow. The level where this man got to, the level that he went to. This is a person that have no heart left. There's no
Mm.
heart there. You have not leave inside. There's nothing left inside of you. You don't deserve to be walking freely and doing as you please, because if you can do that to your own child, what won't you do to somebody else's? What
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you do to someone else's child? That is a child that you produced. That child came from you, trusted you, and you took away his innocence. Took away his innocence for what? Even up till now, you cannot give me an explanation. You cannot say anything to me. You have nothing said. You went as far as, you know that you guys, you opened him up. When you did what you did, you opened up his bottom. So he was releasing, him having bowel movements. You sent back the dirty clothes with the poop and everything on it to try to prove your point even further, to show that that's what happened even when it didn't. Even up till today, when the video went out that I made, the
Yes.
grandmother called me. Prior to I released that video, I called the grandmother. She didn't answer me. I called the father. I questioned him about it. I said, "What? He's not answering me." My father called him. He don't want to talk about it. He don't have nothing to say about it. It's just,
Yes.
oh, we bathed him and him cheer up. That's it. Okay. When I called him and he didn't have anything to say, I knew right then and there, I knew right then and there was nothing else left for me to do. There's
Yes.
no, I don't have to wait on any police. I don't have to do anything else, because at the end of the day, my child sat down with me, police, social workers, all different pediatricians were in the room, everybody, and explained to you guys what happened to him. Did an interview, did a video, and nothing at all, nothing
What
at
do you mean
all.
nothing? Nothing. So no action. What happened?
They
What
he's
the
they
authority?
not do they're still not doing anything. They have the fact that I could call him the night before last and
Mm-hmm.
say to him, ask him the questions about what happened to Caleb and etc. etc. He had no response. I know the police haven't even reached out to him yet, because he felt as if his plan worked. When I called him the other night, nonchalance, no type of anything. Oh,
So
when
when last have you spoken to the authorities about what they are doing about it? When last you spoke with them?
in last week, I personally called the prosecutors myself, and
What
I
they
said
say?
to her, "You guys,
Yes.
we did the video the other day. What's going on?" She said, "Oh, I'm not sure if we have the video yet or whatever the case may be." I said, "Okay, so what's the time like? What's the process? What is it looking like?" She said, "It's an investigation. It takes time. We have to collect the evidence. We have to wait on the kid and this, that, and the third." And it can take up to 90 days. And I'm saying to myself, like, what else is there left to? I don't know if I'm exaggerating the situation,
Mm-hmm.
but just to hear a child Explain, and it wasn't the father, it wasn't the grandmother, it was no
All
one.
right, let me ask you
That
this.
child.
Let me ask you this. So far, has anyone in authority said anything to you to for you to say that they are not believing what your son is saying?
It's not necessarily not believing what he's saying. It's in a sense it is, but it isn't. Because if you're gonna tell me that you have to wait on the rape kit in order for you to make any type of movements, and the rape kit can take up to 90
90
days
days.
before
Yes.
you guys figure out anything. That's you basically telling me it can take up to 90 days before you guys can even give me any type of response about what is going on.
So
I
they are waiting on the kit to confirm that something happened. That's what they are saying.
confirm exactly. That's exactly what they're saying. They're waiting on the kid to confirm that something took place. That
Oh.
doesn't make sense to me.
Oh.
That don't make sense to me. You guys have every other piece of evidence that you could possibly need. If somebody came and said somebody robbed me right now, you
Mm-hmm.
guys would take that case more serious than how you're taking a case where a child is telling you what his own father did to him. The trauma that I have to watch my child go through daily. Don't want to use the bathroom, holding his poop, won't let nobody touch him, insomnia, not sleeping at night, not eating properly, acting out. I have to watch that every day,
And
every single
and by
day.
the looks of things, it seems as if no one in authority said anything to the father.
No, and by the looks of things, no one said anything to him. I was at work the night before last and I called him. I hadn't asked him personally before
Mm-hmm.
that moment, had he Caleb. I didn't say it to him that way. I only
Mm-hmm.
said to him that he had something on his bottom and no one said nothing to me. This time I was more direct. I said to him, I have something to talk to you about. He said, okay. I said, Caleb came home with something on his bottom and he told me that you did something to him. I said, did you do anything to Caleb? He said, no. I said, you didn't push anything in Caleb's bottom? You didn't do anything to him? He said, no. I said, Chad, are you sure you didn't do anything to him? He said, no. So I said, why would Caleb be saying that you did something to him? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. The only thing we did was bathe him. I said, you don't find it concerning that your
Mm-hmm.
child is accusing you of raping him? I mean, no type of reaction.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yes.
You know what you did. You know what you did.
Because I saw two videos and it look away to me.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I said it in the video I made earlier. As soon as you look at the image,
Yes.
instantly you feel it in your stomach. You
Yeah, man, I
just
saw.
know. So I'm not telling no lies. I have
Mm-hmm.
no reason to tell lie on this man. Caleb have no reason to tell lie on this man because prior to this, your
Mm-hmm.
son love you. And even after you did this to him, he still love you because he don't understand that what you did was wrong. He still don't understand that. I have to explain to him what's going on daily, take my time, pace him. I have to go at his pace. I have to take time with him, be gentle. You just
Mm-hmm.
you mess with the pit in the mind. He already noticing things that he never even used to talk about before. Body parts, sexual orientation, things that he never used to see. You open up the child mind, your own child.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the audacity. His mother called me today to
Yes.
cuss me out and tell me how I am wicked and how I'm going to suffer and my pitney them will not prosper and how she's this and that and etc. and etc. Knowing what your child did, picking up for him even after the fact. You are just as bad as him. You, the girlfriend, and him, the three of you guys need to get consequences. The three of you need to be locked up. Because if you can, in order for you to sit and witness something like that and not respond, you cannot have a heart. You cannot have a heart. When a kid bawl out a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
a kid cry out like that, just to even imagine my child crying out in that moment with tears over his mouth. And
Mm.
not one of you guys said anything. Not one of you. I called, I asked questions. Not one of you guys came